Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that could fundamentally reshape how animation gets made. From our favorite cartoons to the most stunning anime. It's a new system called ToonComposer, and it's designed to tackle the most painstaking, labor-intensive parts of animation, letting a seriously smart AI take the wheel. So yeah, this is a big one. Let's get into it.
All right, here's the game plan. We're going to start with the insane amount of work that goes into traditional animation. Then, we'll look at why the first AI helpers didn't quite work. After that, it's all about ToonComposer's new approach, the tech that powers it, how it crushes the competition, and what it all means for the future.
You know, when you're watching a really beautiful piece of animation, it just flows. The characters feel alive, the world is vibrant. It's like watching magic unfold on screen. It's pure, seamless artistry.
But here's the reality check. Behind that effortless magic is an absolutely staggering amount of work. We're talking hundreds, sometimes thousands of individual drawings just to create a few seconds of smooth motion. It's a grind that's been at the heart of the industry forever. So, let's pull back the curtain and look at that traditional workflow. How do you actually get from a single idea to a character moving across the screen?
Well, it pretty much breaks down into three big steps. First, you have keyframing. This is the creative soul of the animation, where lead artists draw the most important poses. Then you have the other two steps, inbetweening, drawing all the little frames in between those key poses, and colorization, coloring every single one of those frames. Those last two, that is pure, repetitive grunt work. So naturally, the AI world looked at all that grunt work and said, hey, we can automate that. But the first generation of AI tools, well, they kind of created as many problems as they solved. They chopped the process up into little pieces, and that had some not-so-great side effects.
So here was the big problem. You'd have one AI model for the in-betweening and a completely different one for the color. The first model would generate the motion, maybe making a few tiny mistakes, and then pass those flawed drawings to the next model. It's like a game of telephone. Each little error gets magnified down the line. The researchers call this error accumulation, and the result was often jittery, inconsistent animation with weird visual glitches.
And this is exactly where ToonComposer flips the script. Instead of just patching up a broken, fragmented workflow, the creators went back to the drawing board and came up with a whole new idea, a single, unified step they call the post-keyframing stage. Just look at this diagram of the old way. You have the artist's work going to one AI, then its output going to another AI. It's a clunky, multi-stage assembly line. And every handoff is a place where things can and do go wrong. Now look at ToonComposer's workflow. It's so much more elegant, right? It takes that entire messy chain and collapses it into one single powerful process. The artist provides the key creative pieces, and the AI does the rest in one go.
And that's the core idea of the post-keyframing stage. It's a new philosophy. It merges motion and color into one job, using just a few key sketches and a single color guide from the artist. By doing everything at once, it completely avoids that whole error accumulation disaster.
Okay, so this sounds great in theory, but how in the world does it actually work? Let's pop the hood, because it all comes down to two really clever bits of tech. So here's the first big puzzle. If the artist is providing less input, just a few sparse drawings, how does the AI maintain precise, artistic control over the final animation? Seems like a paradox, right?
The answer is a brilliant technique called sparse sketch injection. The best way to think about it is like putting pins in a map. The animator draws a key pose, and this system digitally pins that exact drawing to a specific moment in time. The AI is then forced to generate all the in-between motion to perfectly hit that mark. It ensures the artist's creative choices are the absolute anchor points for everything the AI does.
Now the second challenge is even tougher, and it's a classic problem in AI. The base models here are trained on real-world videos. They understand physics and motion. So how do you teach it a completely new cartoon style without it forgetting the fundamental rules of how things are supposed to move?
The solution is just genius. It's called a Spatial Low-Rank Adapter, or SLRA. I love the analogy they use. Think of a master chef who knows everything about cooking fundamentals. That's the AI's core knowledge of motion. The SLRA is like a special training course that teaches that chef a brand new cuisine, the cartoon style, without making them forget how to boil water. It surgically modifies the AI's spatial understanding of style while leaving its temporal knowledge of motion perfectly untouched. So the technology is incredibly clever, no doubt about it. But does it actually make better cartoons? Let's see how ToonComposer stacks up against the competition, because the proof is in the pixels. Let's start with the hard data, and honestly, it's not even close. For perceptual quality, where lower is better, ToonComposer's score is a tiny fraction of its rivals. For style and subject consistency, where higher is better, it blows them out of the water. This isn't a small improvement. This is a whole different league. But you don't need to be a data scientist to see the difference. Just look at this side by side. On the left, a competitor's result. It's fine, but it's a little wobbly and distorted. And on the right, ToonComposer. It's sharp, it's clean, the style is locked in, it just looks right. And it's not just my opinion. In a user study, they showed people animations from different models and asked them to pick the best one. A massive 71% of the time, people chose the one made by ToonComposer. In this space, that kind of preference is an absolute landslide. Okay, so the tech is a legitimate leap forward. But what does this actually mean for the industry, for the artists who spend their lives creating these worlds? What's the bigger picture here?
This quote from the paper really says it all. The point of ToonComposer isn't to replace animators. It's to free them. It's to take the most tedious, burnout-inducing parts of the job off their plate so they can pour all of their energy into what really matters: the creativity, the performance, the storytelling.
So just imagine what this unlocks. Production pipelines get dramatically faster. Small, independent creators can suddenly produce animation that rivals major studios. It lowers the barrier to entry, giving more people a voice. AI becomes less of a threat and more of an incredible creative partner, a co-pilot that handles the busy work so the artist can focus on flying the plane. And that really leaves us with this one huge, exciting question. For a century, the grandest visions in animation have always been limited by the sheer physical labor needed to bring them to life. What happens when you remove that limitation? If an AI can finally break that chain, what new, unbelievable stories can we tell? I, for one, cannot wait to find out. Thanks for joining me.